Hey guys, it's me, Courtney, and today I want to talk to you about stamping. Some people love it, some people hate it, but if you know what you're doing, it's a quick, easy way to add art to your manicures. So let's jump right in. So before you start stamping, there's a couple of things that you're going to need to have. You will need a stamping plate. You're going to need some stamping polish. This is not regular polish, it's especially made for stamping. It's really highly pigmented and it dries super quickly. You also need a little stamper. These are jelly stampers and they are probably the best ones that I've tried. You will need a little lint roller so that you can clean your stamper off. I'll show you that. And also you can get yourself some liquid latex to just put around the cuticle so that you don't get any polish on your skin. So when you get your stamping plate, it will probably look like this. Some people will put the polish straight on this and they'll try and they don't understand why the image isn't transferring to the stamper, and I'll tell you why that is. It is because it's got a blue film on it. Now rest assured, no stamping plate I've ever seen has come blue. So if your stamping plate is blue, then you need to peel off this film. Got it. So when you first get it, you want to clean it off with a little bit of acetone. It'll get rid of any residues that are on there. I'm just using a lint-free wipe. And that's your plate ready to go. Next, you need some stamping polish. Don't try and use regular polish. Some people will tell you that certain brands work as stamping polish. Just don't bother. Get yourself some stamping polish. It's not expensive and you only really need a few colors. So it doesn't matter what brand I've found, they all work. This is a really cheap one that I got off of eBay or something. This is a more popular brand, Moyu. I have quite a few of those as well. And this is another cheap brand that I got when I lived in Germany. You can get Born Pretty as well. I have lots of Born Pretty plates and Born Pretty gel stamping gels. I'll talk about those in my next episode about stamping. And of course, you need this. So when you get your stamping polish, you want to put a generous size amount onto the plate that you're working with. So I'm going to pick this flower pattern here. I'm just going to put a big blob of it there. Be generous. You probably will never run out of stamping polish, so don't worry about using too much. These scrapers usually come if you buy a stamper or if you buy a plate. A lot of times they'll come with a scraper. So all you need to do is scrape it and then pick it up. You need to do this part fairly quickly, not this part where it's sitting on the plate, but when you scrape it, then you need to pick it up straight away. So I recommend getting your stamper ready. You're going to scrape, pick it up, and stamp. So we'll do that now, and I'll show you how easy it is. So I'm applying, enough pressure that my scraper is bending a little bit. I'm not kicking the ass out of it. I'm just enough so that there's even pressure all along the plate. And then I just roll my stamper on and it picks it up. Once you have it on the stamper, you have all the time in the world. So just don't worry about that. Just be very quick when you pick it up. I wanted to talk to you about the little streaks also that are on the stamping plate. You don't need to worry about those. It's not going to pick up on your stamper. So don't scrape it and think, oh God, there's loads of streaks I need to scrape and scrape. That will cause you problems with time because that's a very time sensitive step. You can see that none of the little streaks have picked up and that image is just perfectly on there. So once you have it on, then you just want to stamp it onto your nail. These ones are clear, which is handy so you can see what you're doing, and you just press it onto the nail. You don't want to move it around loads at this point because you can smudge it. So just press it on and take it off. And that's that. When you're cleaning your stamper, I use my lint-free roller and just get all the polish off of there. To clean your plate, you just do the same that we did before. Just wipe it off with some acetone. Oh God, that was quite a lot of acetone. Okay. Now, you will need to top coat this with a gel top coat or a regular top coat if you're using regular polish. It dries really quick though, as you can see. It's dry already. So let's do another one. I'll show you that the other polishes work just as well. So again, I'm just going to shake this because it's regular polish. Sometimes they get a little bit gloopy. Let's do this one. So I just put a generous amount there. Take my time, get myself set up, got my scraper. I'm going to apply enough even pressure to scrape it. And then I'll just roll this over and it picks it up. So that's gold. You can't really see it very well, but it has picked up the image. So then I'll just stamp that onto my nail like that. Super easy. Let's do it one more time. Let's use the red one. This is quite a pretty one. So a generous amount. We're going to scrape and stamp very quickly. Okay, I got my stamper. I'm ready to go. Scrape, roll, and we've got the image. So then you just blip, blip, stamp it on. So you can see here I've got some polish on my skin. You can either go in with a little lint-free wipe and clean that up, or a little brush with some acetone on it. I don't want these images on my nails, so I'm going to take them off. That one was quite cute though. Well, let me clean that plate. And then I'll show you this. This is liquid latex. Always check and make sure that people don't have a latex allergy if you're going to use this on a client. It goes on just like nail polish, so you just want to put it on the skin around the nail and make sure that you do it quite thick so that you can peel it off easy. It does take a little while to dry, so usually if I'm going to do stamping, I'll put the latex on before I even choose. Oh shit, sorry, I wasn't even in frame there. I'll put the liquid latex on before I even talk to the client about what image they want stamped on their nail, because it takes some time. So once that's dry, then you can go ahead and get your image from your stamping plate. Just make sure that it's clean. Okay. So I'm going to let that liquid latex dry, and then I'll come back and show you how to peel it off. Okay, so wow, that feels like it took about 30 years to dry. It is almost completely dry. There's a little section here that isn't. You'll be able to tell when it's dry because it goes kind of matte, and when you touch it, nothing, well, I mean a little bit came off, but nothing serious. When you touch it over there, it's not quite dry, and that little bit came off. But don't worry too much about that. When it's dry enough, then you want to just do the same thing. This is handy for using bigger patterns that are going to overlap the side of the nail. So I will choose this one here. And again, I will put a generous amount of polish on there. Make sure I go from edge to edge. Close that back up. Got my stamper ready, Sometimes these things pop out, but they're easy enough to squish back in. So I'm going to scrape and stamp. And then I won't have to worry about cleanup, rolling the stamper on, and then press it onto my nail. And there will be some overhang that would have got onto my skin, but it doesn't because I have the liquid latex on my finger. So once that's done, then you just get something sharp. You can use your fingernail if you want, or a little cuticle pusher. This part is kind of tricky, but once you get a good edge of it lifted up, then it will come off very easily. So just start peeling. Super satisfying. If you get to a part that's not quite dry, obviously it won't peel as easily. And that's that. So you may have a little bit of polish that is still on the cuticle, or maybe it's liquid latex, I don't know. So just go in with your brush and do the tiniest bit of cleanup. You could always top coat first. I got some polish on the end of my finger there. I should have put liquid latex there as well, but that's okay. At least it's easier than doing the whole thing. So then you just need to top coat it and cure it, and that is done. There's a lot of things you can do with stamping. This is just a basic starters tutorial. In my next video, I'll show you some stamping gels that I have from Born Pretty. I've got gold and a silver, and then I have them, they come in these little squeezy tubes as well. These work a little bit differently, so I'm excited to show you that. Make sure you check out that video as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.